Hi, it's Will from stormthecastle.com, and here on YouTube you know me as what? Epic Fantasy, that's right. And this is my latest tutorial. This is a how to make your very own foam board or cardboard sword. And in this tutorial we make this one. But the thing about this tutorial is it's not a specific sword from a video game or a movie or a book or anything like that. This is how to come up with one out of your own imagination and how do you make the sword. So I've made a lot of swords, they're all here on my YouTube channel, but maybe there's one you want to make that you thought of, or from a game or something that I haven't done. Well, this tutorial shows you how to do it, the process and the steps, where to start. You start with drawings, how do you go through the steps to make your own sword, and how to make a nice one, something like this. We make this imaginary sword here, kind of cute. So thanks for watching my videos. If you're a subscriber, thanks for subscribing. If you're not, hit that button. Always lots of fun and interesting projects. I do two new videos every week. Give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, leave a project suggestion. Thank you. Let's launch into the intro and then let's do it. Dioramas, origami, catapults, and trebuchets, telescopes, terrariums, bonsai trees, and paper games, swords and shields, and real blacksmithing, rattle box animation. I teach the art of real creation. StormTheCastle.com. Let's make something. Okay, let's make a sword. And I do have a nice article on my website on the 10 basic types of swords, like the Roman gladius, and the longsword, and the katana, and scimitar. If you want to go do a little research, the link is right here in the video as to where you can go and check out the different types of swords. But the first thing you want to do when you're designing your own sword is do some sketching. Grab yourself some paper or a sketch pad or something and draw a few different types out. Have some fun with it. What's your imagination? What do you want to do? What do you want to have? The sky's the limit. Draw out a few. Start to get a feel for it. The size of the sword at this point doesn't matter. Just draw them out, the concept of the shape of it. Now, once you've got your concept done, now if you want to figure out a couple of different things. The actual real size and shape of the sword. So you'll be referring to your final sketch that you have, and then figure out how big you want to make it, and then tape together sheets of printer paper like this. And you want to make long ones, you want to add a couple on the side. If your hilt is going to be, if your guard is going to be a little wide, and then draw out your sword in real size. See here, we had it wider and we narrowed it down a little bit. That's the beauty of using some printer paper, is you can draw it out, you can erase it, you can tinker with it, get it to exactly where you want your sword to be. See, do a little erasing, reshape it. You don't have to worry. Have some fun with this. Always referring to your original sketch. Then once you've got it, bold it with a marker or something, or heavy on the pencil. And this is going to be your sword. Now we're doing a pretty basic one, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you some a couple of more advanced techniques that you might like. You've got that template done, cut it out. And place it on your foam board. Or cardboard, you can use cardboard here too. Tape it down in a couple of spots. And trace it. And what you're doing is you're transferring the pattern from the paper to the foam board. And see how we used a ruler there? You might want to use a ruler if you want to keep your edges nice and sharp. It is a sword after all. Now remove your template, touch up anything that's needed touching up, and cut it out. There you go, starting to look like a sword. Now, typically, I like to use 3 layers of foam board. You can get away with 2, but if you want your sword to be strong, you might want to think about 3. So go ahead and sand the rough edges on this, because we're going to now use this sword as a template. And then trace it 2 more times to make 2 more. And part of this will depend on how thick you want your sword, how big the sword is. The bigger the sword, the more layers you want to put to make it strong. But we're going to do 3 layers. So trace out 2 more and then cut those pieces out. and glue them all together. Hot glue is nice for this because it's just really quick and it bonds really well. But you can use plain old white glue. It just takes longer for the white glue to dry. There you go, we've got a sword. Now use some sandpaper or emery paper or something to smooth it all out, because you've got a stack of foam board here. You want it to be nice and smooth like a sword. So let's prime it. Prime it with some white paint. This will make the colors pop. And particularly the sides like that, you want to prime those well. That also, and then Mod Podge it. If you have Mod Podge, this is optional, but this will seal it and protect it and help the colors to be better. And it also reduces any warping in the sword. Totally optional with Mod Podge. So now painting, plenty of things you can do with painting. Important thing about painting is never just paint one side of it, because it'll curve somewhat. So you always paint it all the way around. You have options. You can use spray paint. Because you've Mod Podged it and painted it with white paint, you've sealed those edges, because the spray paint can eat away at the layer of foam between the paper. So sealing it will prevent the spray paint from eating that foam. And you notice how we masked it off before spray painting it. So now you can remove that mask, and you can also use regular acrylic paints to paint it any way you want. Very nice. It's a pretty simple design, a pretty simple painting pattern. So we can show you the various options you can do. You can also use paint pens. So maybe to do some detail work like this. And think about using a pencil to first, if you're doing any ornaments, use a pencil to first draw them out so you can get a sense for them, what they look like. And then go ahead and paint pen them. Now the handle. You get a lot of options for the handle. You can wrap it in duct tape. You can wrap it in electrical tape, colored electrical tape, or you can, wrap it with a leather cord like we're doing here. You just glue it down and wrap it around. You can paint it. There you go. Nice little handle. Quick and easy. So now let me show you a couple of advanced techniques, kind of advanced techniques. You don't have to, every layer doesn't have to be the whole sword. You can add smaller layers, like something like that. Draw out some smaller layers, particularly at the handle, or maybe you want a blood groove down the center of the blade, or, the pommel to be a little bigger than an extra layer. So you can glue this right on and have a guard that's a little bit bigger. See it? That would be nice. Or you can do something like cut that out like this, and then have that really nice edging and use that. And we're going to paint this and put that on the sword. A little bit of paint pen. And glue that right onto the sword guard. So, a little bit of advanced technique to think about adding layers of foam board or cardboard that aren't the whole size of the sword. But it really makes a big difference in the detail work. You can go even farther and you can add smaller things like some gems or jewels, some little fake diamonds. And I'll show you here, it's kind of neat. There's a big diamond right there. Cost me about $3 million. No, just kidding. And there's a perfect spot for it right there. See, so let your imagination run wild. Create a sword out of your head and go for it. This is the basic process for how to do it with foam board or cardboard. And because we've used 3 layers, it's a pretty strong sword. Doesn't that look good? We actually added another diamond right on top of it. You want to ornament the blade? It's kind of like a full of diamonds. Nice. And that is it. You have made your own sword with your own design out of your own brain. Send me a picture. Thanks for watching that video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're a subscriber, thanks for subscribing to my channel. If you're not a subscriber, hit that button. I always have lots of fun and interesting and very creative projects. I do 2 new ones every week. As an example, here's a couple more videos you might want to watch.